Welcome back. We have a local author joining us on the show today. His name is Jonathan McCormick, and he lives right here in Kamloops. He's written 2 books. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're
going to take a quick look at these books. They focus on women who deal with the threat of violence in their lives. The first one is called Wyoming Secrets, a J-Team novel. So this is the first one that Jonathan has done. And then the second one, we'll just go like this, 30,000 Secrets. This is the second one. There is a third one coming out, but yes, they all deal with women who deal with the threat of violence. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, so you're in the middle of the third one right now.
Yes.
Okay, So tell me a little bit about this. You have a common theme throughout your books.
Yes.
And why is that? It's a specific topic for sure.
It is. And when I was working on my black belt in combat martial arts, I was required to start teaching. And I chose seniors because there was, teenagers and men seemed to be already covered by other disciplines. And the first group that I did was a seniors group in Port Alberni. And then that just kind of evolved into dealing with sexual assault survivors. And once I dealt with that, I realized that it's far more extensive than I ever realized. And I got a tremendous amount of pleasure seeing a lot of them were teenagers who were very timid going into training, but found themselves after about 6 to 9 months. Mm-hmm. That was after they had about a year's assistance, shall we say, with the counselors. And, trying to realize that they didn't do anything wrong, and they ended up being a victim.
Right.
So they changed this concept from a victim to a survivor. And then, somewhere along the line, my former professor of journalism suggested that I turn that concept into novels so that I could reach more people.
Right. And how's that going so far? What has the response been to your books?
I thought I was going to be reaching primarily women, but I get a lot of men responding too.
Right.
That are supporting, women that are surviving these things. But the 3 main characters are female Secret Service agents.
Right. Rebecca, Elizabeth, and Jessica.
Right. And the leader of the group is Jessica, and she graduated from the University of California at Berkeley. And her dad is a professor at the University of Toronto, and her mother witnessed the shootings at Polytech. And unbeknownst to her mother at the time, she was sharing all this with a teenager. And that affected her to the point where she doesn't trust men at all. Mm-hmm. And she's quite violent when it comes to training and things like this, to the point where there aren't any men who want to work with her. Mm-hmm. So she happened to find 2 other women who shared her discipline, shall we say. Mm-hmm. And so they and 2 men worked to uncover this domestic terrorist group in North America. It's in Canada, Toronto, Manitoba, British Columbia. Mm-hmm. And they also follow cuisine and fashion. And they get a kick out of being able to go together and to Nordstrom's and Holt Renfrew and places like that.
So it's neat to sort of pick up on all sort of the local little things that people relate to in our part of the world a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And one book follows the other, is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a continuation. What happens after book 3, Jonathan? Will you do more?
Next one takes place in Costa Rica.
Oh.
One of the people that they're after escapes down there, and he becomes a local to the point where he doesn't really think of himself as a Canadian anymore. Mm-hmm. But and people don't even think of him as a Canadian,
right?
And so they work to find him because he was a kingpin. He financed the domestic terrorists, and it's imperative that they find him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds great. And like you just said right before the break, or while we were in the break, that you're sort of in the mix of it right now, writing this book. And
yes.
So it sort of takes up your mindset.
It consumes me. Yeah.
It's not a 9 to 5 thing, writing a book, right?
Well, no, sometimes I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning,
yes.
and I've got an idea, and I start to write it down. I go, this isn't going to work. So I just get up and start writing.
Wow. We're just about out of time, but for people who would like to learn more about your books or perhaps purchase one of them, where can they find them?
They can find them on Amazon.ca. Mm-hmm. The library has both of these, and the YWCA has them, the Women's Shelter for the YMWCA, and all the other shelters in the Kamloops area.
Okay.
And the violence support group.
Yes.
They all
And
have them.
we have your website on the screen as well, jonathanmccormick.com. So that's probably
And they can
another
also
avenue.
sign up for the blog, because once a week I deal with a particular issue that's been brought to my attention, and they can read that as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's ongoing.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me. I
much. We
appreciate
look
it.
forward to the third one. You'll have to come back and talk to us about that one.
I'd appreciate it.
And
Thank
I
you.
love your Argyle socks.
Thanks.
Okay. Quick break. If you'd like to learn more again, though, jonathanmccormick.com. We're right back. Stay with us.